Guys, we have Brock. Oh, I already forgot your freaking middle name, Brock.
Foster.
Brock Foster Powell.
Foster the people. I like that you
Yes.
gave it a Midwest kind of Brock Faster.
Brock Foster. So guys, Brock Foster's done a lot of voice work, and I'm just gonna rattle off a few of them here, and then we're gonna get into them. I just went to New York now. It's not Midwest anymore.
You moved. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, we're just traveling the US. He is Hambay in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Moki or Mochi, I don't know, but I don't care. In Big Hero 6. Apparently, is that the cat? Is that a cat?
Yeah, Harry Baby. That's what a lot of
He's Vlorkel in the Phineas and Ferb movie. No big deal, guys. No big deal. It's just
all of these sound made up. Every character that I have sounds made up.
Then we have the billionaire guy eccentric in Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Made up. That's
made up. And you didn't tell me about Judd Whitaker in World War Z.
Yes, I am. I'm in Judd in World War Z, and
we have a lot of gamers here, so that's like their jam.
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of games. I was in God of War in 2016. I just did Werewolf Earthblood Apocalypse.
Somebody's loving your Mickey poster in the back. Yay,
oh my! Gosh, so that was given to me by my high school counselor. Bonita Nelson, and she was from Fargo, and well before I knew I could have a career in voiceover, she wrote on the back of it. I went to a Lutheran school, so I grew up very religious. It says, Brock, go for your dreams. God loves you, and so does Mickey Mouse. And I kept that as a reminder because 80% of my work comes from the Walt Disney Company. And somehow 15 years ago, Bonita Nelson from Fargo, North Dakota, just knew that was going to happen. And
Bonita, oh, don't you know? Can you do a Mickey? Hey, Pluto.
Oh, sure. I prefer Pluto because I like to do the dogs, and I do dog voices. And I was mentored. My mentor is Bill Farmer, who does Goofy and Pluto.
Yeah.
But sure, I like to do. Gosh, hey, Pluto. You got the more Walt one, and then you have more of the Wayne Allwine, which some imagination, huh? A little rounder. I love all the Disney characters. My favorite is Winnie the Pooh. Of all. Oh bother! There's something about him, especially in the pandemic. I don't have to wear pants, and I can eat as much honey as I'd like. It's that weird underbite.
My favorite from Winnie the Pooh is Gopher. Summer squash, summer succotash.
That's so good.
Okay, so you were this kid who had some talent and probably made funny voices and accents. What was the kind of inkling that made you go, like, did you go directly into this is what I want to do, or first your parents made you study medicine, or like what happened?
I wish my parents had made me do something practical. No, I went to college and I got my degree.
This is really fun. What are you talking about? And you're good at it.
No, I love my career and I love my trade. I just meant that in the interim, when I was in college, I went and pursued a degree in theater, which is not that practical. All to say, kids, you should pursue the arts and make art and do that. But if you're considering going to a private institution and paying a lot of money to learn to make art, well, just take that money and maybe cover your rent for a year or two and just do it. But that's all to say, I went to school to be a theater teacher initially because I was too afraid to try it.
Okay.
And I'd done impressions all my life. I grew up in Las Vegas, and I grew up doing stand-up comedy and doing everything since I was like 14 years old. And I'd done theater acting even before that. And I just loved it. I loved everything about becoming someone else. I loved every single thing about creating a character or finding a character or mimicking somebody else. And you said anime earlier. The archetypes and impressions were really great ways for me to express different sides of my personality. And the earliest character that I would say I connected with, which is not uncommon for a lot of voice actors, was Robin Williams' Genie. That was the first time.
Don't get me started.
Right? The Genie inspired every single thing in my sort of narrative growing up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Me too. This is why I'm like excited, because I like when they said who do you want to emulate? I'm like Robin Williams, and I was a little girl, but it didn't matter. And also because I loved Fern Gully, but my favorite character was Batty Coda, and he was Batty. So I learned that rap. I still know it. Yo, the name is Rattic.
It's
The
Batty.
logic is the Rattic. Yeah. And so I was like, I need to be Robin Williams. So, you know, of course, I never got to meet him, but it would have been a dream. So what was the first gig that you got? Like, once you started, you know, auditioning and like grinding, because that's what it freaking is. Like, I was looking at my folder of MP3 auditions, and I need to do a count. There are way too many. And the number I've booked out of those is just like, so when you started hitting the pavement, what was the one job that you got? It could have been a tiny thing, but you're like, oh, well, this is a step closer. I'm getting paid, maybe just $10, but I'm getting paid for a gig.
Yeah. No, it's life-changing. Just that first, like, even just a little bit, you're like, working for Disney, weirdly at the theme park at the age of, I think I was 19 or 20, and I was so young then. And
feel free to talk in voices the whole hour. I am happy to listen to all of it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was 20 years old and I worked at the theme park. And I was the voice of, for a very little time, I voiced Crush from Finding Nemo at the live show at California Adventure. But met a bunch of people who you probably know, who I'm still friends with: Isaac Robinson Smith, Joseph Fernandez, a bunch of amazing actors. Joe Hernandez is great. You should definitely meet him. He's a wonderful dude.
Cool. Yeah, no, haven't met them.
But there was a bunch of people in the Turtle Tank. And for those who don't know that show, it basically is like a live digital puppet show that there is a character that comes out to talk to the kids. Oh, dude, you so totally rock. Give me some Finn, noggin, dude. And then you take live, tubular, and you do a lot of like live Q&A with the kids, like 15-minute show. And that was my first taste of a professional voiceover gig. And very quickly I was like, this is the gig, not the environment. I'm going to go to LA. This is what I want. This is where I want to do it. So then I transferred from there and I worked at Star Tours, working the ride so I could become a tour guide. Because if you become a tour guide at Disney, you can make quite a bit and you make a lot off of the tips. So I got to do that.
And you can practice using your fabulous voice as you guide people through the park.
And you meet people firsthand who you would later do impressions of. So I gave a tour to I knew Patrick Warburton through tours and then have met him since. But there was a particular character in Star Tours. There was a character in Star Tours that was Patrick Warburton voiced a little robot in the queue, but they pitched him up so he didn't sound like himself. And as we're going through the exit, we're skipping the line. And I was like, oh, it's unfortunate because you're not going to hear this really annoying robot. And he turns to me, I swear, and he goes, oh, it's funny because it's me. And that's exactly what he did. Now he said it.
What was the Disney gig that you booked? Was it exciting? Was it one line? Was it a recurring character? What was it?
So the first gig I booked was in the theme park doing a voice live. Like in the theme park. And then after that, the first like official walk-on gig I had was with, I won't say the casting director's name because they don't like to get hit up, but the casting director at Walt Disney Imagineering hired me for a project in Florida to do some interstitial videos where they took the animatronics that existed and filmed them and had a voice actor dub different lines over it. So I did a bunch of different little videos for Walt Disney World. That was the first gig. That was about 9 years ago. I worked at Milo Murphy's Law. My first role was a nonverbal alien. It's the pilot episode of season 1 of Milo Murphy's Law. And they had me literally abducting Weird Al Yankovic. And I've got this weird drill and I look at him and the alien, I voiced 2 aliens and they both go, and that was it. And that one gig turned into about two seasons of full-time work.
Because you do the alien more or other characters came?
So that alien would come back.
Oh my God.
Because I was the voice of that alien, I would do that alien and then pick up 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Siri. That's okay. Can
you have to move around in circles for exercise.
Milo Murphy's Law aliens turned into 2 seasons of work.
How did you create this alien?
I've always been a really big fan of D. Bradley Baker. And so I always was exploring and playing with creature voices. And I just didn't know that was something that other voice actors didn't put in their toolbox. So I had a whole bunch of different alien sounds. So they asked me for 3 or 4 alien samples before I got that one line thing.
Oh, wow.
And I had them.
Can you give me a few alien sounds you do?
Absolutely, yeah. But apologies in advance because I'm using these AirPods and sometimes they clip. But I'm sucking an eyeball out of it.
And then back to the Disney ones.
And that's basically just that Stitch kind of, if people want to know what that is, that's just the bubble voice.
Jeff Burns wants to know if you can do Louis Armstrong as an alien.
I see skies of black because I'm in space and there's no light. In talking up here, I've voice matched Josh Gad. I've voice matched a bunch of different celebrities that have higher voices.
Talk to me like Olaf.
Oh, hi, I'm Olaf and I like warm hugs. I was thinking, how about yellow? Wait a second, yellow and snow? No go. So I've never officially done Olaf for the Disney company, but I have voice matched Josh for some other stuff.
Oh my God. Who else do you voice match? I love this stuff.
So if people are video game fans, I voiced Adam Sandler's character Dracula in the Hotel Transylvania 3 video game. And I've done some Drac work on the last couple movies. I don't say blah, blah, blah. Welcome to Hotel Transylvania. Okay, honey, that's very good. So Adam Sandler was definitely one. I've done Robert Downey Jr.'s one that's pretty easy and pretty much in there. So here's the deal. So first of all, if I'm doing Robert Downey Jr., I just basically am doing my own voice. I start to get really important and I make a lot more money talking very quickly. So that's
I look away because I want to just hear it, and it's kind of awesome. Yeah.
I've done Luke Skywalker for Star Wars toys. I've done a lot of voice matching for toys and video games.
That's awesome. What has been your absolute freaking favorite gig? I know it's a hard thing, but like a character that you love so much, or the experience was just so amazing that you're like, oh my God, I love, driving onto the whatever lot and recording that.
Yeah, there's something that I just recently did some final ADR for that'll be out around Christmas time, and that's all I'll say. For a corporation that is very near and dear to my heart. I cried. I cried after this last session because I finally got to see the animation with the voice in tandem, and not just my voice, but like my voice with some other characters that I really feel very close to. And it was surreal because I'm watching the ADR playback, and I'm so used to doing ADR for voice matching where I'm having to match and interweave another actor's performance with mine. So I'm picking up a line or two. But in this situation, it was me from a year and a half ago matching the animation, and they created this character based on in a movie. It's a movie, and it was really wild.
Talk to me about Hanbei in Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice. What was that
I'm in
like?
my garage, and I found this, by the way. This was the Game Informer that came out about 7 months before the game was released. And I kept it because it was really cool to hear them talk about the game before it came out. In the story, there are these warriors who are cursed with immortal life and these centipedes inside of them. And so I was an immortal, and I was an immortal warrior named Hanbei, who was kind of like the Eeyore of Sekiro. So very down here. And a lot of it was very, will you help me? Yeah. Please help me.
Dude, that's sexy. It's a little Liam Neeson-y there.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of that, but he was a very morose character, and essentially like he's lived so long, all his friends were dead, all of his kids were dead, and he just wants to die, and he can't. So being someone who's also struggled with depression, it was really fun because I felt like I could layer in some of those days when I don't feel so great into the performance. And I've since heard from people that also struggle that they resonate with that character, which was really freaking cool because to be a part of a game like that I think is a really niche game, and a lot of people really enjoyed it, and the challenge, and to hear back from people that they enjoyed what I did with that, because we did not originate the voice. It was a dub project.
Okay.
So I came in and I was a localization group that took the original actor's performance, and that guy was so great, and he gave me such a great bouncing off point. And having worked in dubs before, I've worked on Mob Psycho and Lupin and One Punch Man. I love anime deeply.
One Punch Man, yeah.
I love One Punch Man. So getting to work on a video game where it was the looping experience, but with the interactive storytelling of like 40, 60 hours of content. So you're doing just so much more recording. It was really interesting to have to create a character starting with the inspiration from the original Japanese actor and then sort of fleshing him out, no pun intended. It was really cool. Hanbei's near and dear to my heart. And so I always love to talk about that one because that was really fun.
Yeah, La Rhythm also said it sounds a little bit like Soldier 76. Have you played Overwatch?
I have. I am terrible, and having just been compared to Fred Tatasciore just made me squeal internally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love Overwatch. I am garbage at it, but I do know that I can only play as Sombra, and that's all I will play as.
You liar. You're not more garbage than I am at it because I am like the queen of garbage at playing Overwatch. It's too hard. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your fun and your energy. I'm so glad you were able to join. Guys, keep booming and booping. Boop.